my guest is RoadRunner head coach Josh Kamrass. Josh, glad to have you along.
Glad to be here, Arch. Thanks for having me.
I mean, where else would you be on a coaching show night, right?
Nowhere but here.
Nowhere but here. I know, like, when you got up this morning, and I know when you did, and your fiance's here, she could probably verify this. The first thing you did was you thought, tonight I have to go to the coaching show. I got to pick out my special britches and my special socks because I can't go out and be seen in public not wearing the proper attire. So do you go through that process?
I hope so. I hope so.
Yeah, is he picky on his wardrobe?
No, not really.
She says not at all?
No, not really. I just get up and I go. It's time to go to work when you get up. So just one thing at a time for today.
Outstanding. Well, you know what? First I want to talk about this week, because I heard you say something to me the other day, and it felt good to hear it. But you said, this is going to be probably one of the best weeks of our season. Talk about why you said that.
I told you that yesterday, correct?
Yeah.
Oh, we had a really good practice yesterday. That's why. No, it's because you got the sense when we got back after the weekend. You know, we didn't win either of those games, but we did something special there over the weekend, and something you can't put into words really. It was just something that you felt. You know, you saw it on Saturday's game, and Monday in practice the guys were fired up, and we got home ice all week this week, which is the first time in a long time. It's great to be home. I don't think we've had a Monday practice at Landon Arena in a long time, and it just felt really good to be there. And you could sense something special right now, and it's hopefully we keep going and building off of that.
Let's go back to the Friday night game, and the Wichita Falls Wildcats. They were able to pull ahead to a 3-0 lead, and they didn't really do it quickly. They sort of built into it. They did get the one goal in the first period, and it was still 1-0 going into the second, and then they punched in a couple, but it seemed like once they got that third goal, it stirred something on your bench, and the guys who really have, as a trademark, not really panicked in situations like that, they've found a way to get right back into it.
Yeah, that's our message is, how do you respond to things that happen? And sometimes when you get scored on a couple times, it's deflating, and you just need that one moment in the game that can kind of change the course of how your team goes and the momentum shift. So, luckily we got that, and our guys, they stuck with it and continued to plug away.
Yeah, the power play goal from Sammy Tavernier, and he's one of those players that, from one night to the next, that he's got the skill, he's got that capability, and when he shows you at the pinnacle of what he's capable of on a play like that, it's got to just really uplift everybody, including you on the bench.
Yeah, he's very talented. You can see the elite skill that he brings, and I think people forget that he's 18 years old. He's a young kid. He's still learning the game. It's his first time over here from Finland in America, so there's it's a huge adjustment. I mean, I can only imagine what it would be like as an 18-year-old kid going to a new country and trying to play sports and earn a scholarship, and he's done that. He's done very well here. So, he sniped that. He put that in a corner that only the puck could fit through, nothing else. So it went right up there. It was a nice shot, and that was momentum for us.
We talked about it on the pregame show a little bit on Saturday, but another player that really rose up in that game was Dominic Lutz, and he had an assist on the first goal. I think on the second goal as well to Bowery. And just talk about his play over the week.
Dom's been great. He's just a hard worker, and he came in last year and struggled for a while during the season, and he was struggling to get in the lineup and play every night, and was fourth line for a while, and things weren't going his way. He's used to scoring goals in high school, and he wasn't, and then all of a sudden it just clicked last year, and he carried that over to this year, and he brings it every day. He's a hard worker, and he's just a great leader, and a guy for other players to follow in his footsteps.
Speaking of following in those footsteps, here's another kid, Marshall Bowery, Michigan kid, struggling a little bit this year offensively. Didn't get his first goal until for quite a while, and he finally all of a sudden started to get his stride. Earlier in that game on Friday, there was a play where Jeff Mikowski had hit somebody. They collided at the blue line, and all of a sudden he was able to flick the puck over towards Bowery. Came in alone, went for the backhander, and kind of skied it over the crossbar and out of play. But then when he got another opportunity off that pass from Lutz, he didn't play around. He just fired it blocker side, and and that's got to be, from a coach's standpoint, the hallmark of a guy that's, one, learning how to score and how to be successful at this level, but two, a guy that's playing with confidence.
Yeah, he got those chances, and from our perspective, it's not how many goals he's scoring or how many points he's putting up. It's, is he getting those opportunities? He got 2 breakaways in the game. He's getting those opportunities, which generally tells you he's doing something right. He's putting himself in the right spot. He's working hard, and it's good to see a guy like Marshall, who he was beating his head against the wall for a while because he wasn't scoring. And then when you sit down and take a step back and look at it, are you getting chances? If you aren't, why aren't you getting those chances? And I think that really helped him. And now he's seeing, I just got to get the chances, put myself in those positions, and then good things happen from there.
The Wildcats had that 3-0 lead, scored the 2 to make it 3-2, and you could tell that even though the Wildcats are a team that, to some degree, they play with some confidence at home because they'd only lost one weekend. They got swept by Lone Star, and we're the only other team that beat them in their barn, so they've been very successful there. But you could tell that they sensed the Roadrunners were breathing down their neck, and they were coming. And then the old knife in the old back was Luka Maver, the shorthanded goal. And just, what can you say about him? I know we've talked about him, but boy, he just keeps coming up with these big plays at big times.
Luka is becoming a man, and we're all here to see it and witness it, and he's becoming, he looks like a pro out there, and he's getting better every day, and it's because of his work ethic. He loves staying out after practice, doing the little things, and just you start to see that he's going to the dirty areas in net front, and he's playing hard, which is good because he's once he puts it all together, he's going to be a force to be reckoned with for sure at this level. So we're looking for big things from him.
Huge comeback. Runners had all the momentum, but then it was a power play opportunity for Wichita Falls coming back the other way. A shot from the point. It may have changed directions more than once. It looked like it went off of one of our guys on the way through. And poor Niku, he had no chance on it.
Yeah, that was when you're playing that hard. It was a playoff game. That's what playoffs are going to be like. And it was fun hockey to watch, but it's little things like that, just the bounces that, it's the game. It's how it goes sometimes. Sometimes you're on the other side and you're happy, and sometimes you're not. So, hopefully we just learn from it, and once we get into the playoffs and we get that opportunity again against Wichita Falls, we don't end up on that side of it.
Now, as a coach who's played through this level, you've seen different coaching styles, you've seen different approaches. Do you look at it more from the standpoint of, hey guys, thumbs up, we came back from a 3-0 deficit and made a game out of this, or do you feel bad that and say, well, hardworking teams create their own breaks, and we didn't create enough breaks, and we lost, and shame on us? I don't know. How do you personally attack that locker room to help prepare them for the next night? I don't mean attack in a bad way. I just mean, how do you approach it?
I'm not a rah yeller and screamer. That just really doesn't work these days. I think the guys want someone who they know believes in them and will push them, and someone who will, when things aren't going right, will be there to support them. And we had a long talk, and everyone in the room, the guys still had their skates on, and we just had a really good talk about things, and it wasn't mad at them at all. They played hard. And you lose games, and it's tough sometimes seeing the positive out of a loss, but that's where most positives come from, if you can understand what happened and why it happened. And that's something that we're trying to work through, because losing games it's not fun. Everyone's a competitor. I don't think anyone showed up Friday night saying, hey, let's lose this game because it's the right thing to do. So they showed up and worked and just came out on the wrong side of it.
Well, growing through adversity is certainly something that benefits all athletes, because there's a saying that says, calm seas never made a good sailor. So if things are easy, then the guys aren't really getting any better or learning how to grow their game and how to grow personally. So you come back out on Saturday night, and once again you find yourself in a little bit of a hole. You had the first goal that Wichita Falls scored. You find yourself behind. You come back, you tie it up very quickly, which was great. So that almost directly resonates from the night before. But then all of a sudden the wheels come off the cart, and in the span of 1 minute, you get a call that doesn't go your way, and then you get put down 5-on-3 immediately. So how do you coach through that?
The room got really quiet here, wasn't it? Actually, Saturday was probably one of the best games we've played in a long time. Out shooting them 33-20 when they're a high octane offensive team. I mean, that says something right there. If you take that span away, I disagree with two of the calls. Their first goal, if you watch the video back, Andrew Hart got tripped behind the net, and that's what I was talking to the ref about. And, we just look for, I get it's the heat of the game, and a lot of stuff happens, and there's only one guy on the ice, but that was a momentum-changing play. If that game would have ended 1-0, that's a missed call by the referee. And you don't want to see refs, be decision makers and factors in a game like that. But I felt that was something that was a bad no call, and I just had a chat with the ref, and then the next play they come down, and I didn't see it. I was talking to one of the players on the bench, but every player, you look at their reaction on the ice, and everyone said it was offside. So I don't think that 5 guys are going to be wrong, and I don't agree with the fact that there was no deliberation, and it was just, that's a goal. I think that there should have been some discussion at least. I think that would have put our guys at ease a little bit more, but again, the refs can't be a factor in what we do. We just have to play our game, and we responded after the first goal. Luka came down and he buried one real quick. That's how you want to answer. We talk about responding. That's what we're looking for, is guys to respond like that. And we got through that. I guess good enough. We only let one in on the 5-on-3 and then the 5-on-4, but it's those are tough situations. You can't put yourself in that situation once playoffs come, and hopefully that's the lesson we learned from it. But I thought we played a great game Saturday.
That goal by Luka, you got to give a lot of credit on that to Yuhiko Osaka. Tyler Hayes had taken the shot from the blue line and flat sides off the glass. Hiko digs it out off the back wall on his 21st birthday, by the way, and throws kind of behind the back dish out front for Luka to one time at home. So that's good work ethic behind the net to help him set that up.
Yeah, those two are buddies. They're real close off the ice, and you start to see that chemistry and the friendship on the ice kind of materialize, which is good. And that's what you want. You got to be real close with your line mates. You got to trust them. You got to know where they're going to be and have that communication. So you're starting to see that from some of the guys, and you want 4 lines that are able to do that, just like they were this weekend.
So now you get a chance to come home, and like you said, the guys were fired up on Monday. They were eager to get back to work, and it's nice to be able to do that, as you said, rather than having to wait till Tuesday to go out to KCIC or whatnot. But so the guys get a full week of practice, and this week you've got Amarillo coming in, and I know we talked about this. We're rehashing a little bit of some of the stuff we had addressed in pregame shows, but it's a weekend where Amarillo's already mathematically eliminated, so they're already done. The RoadRunners can do no better than third. That's where we're going to finish. We're locked into that spot. It's really just about trying to stay sharp, I suppose. So how do you keep guys fired up to have that passion as opposed to a more tempered, just trying to stick to basics?
Well, you look at playoff games. Game 1, it's best of 5 in the first round. Game 1, it's not a loser go home. Game 2, it's not a loser go home. So this is basically the first week in the playoffs, and we have to approach it like that. Even though Amarillo is not in the playoffs, if you let your guard down, they can do some damage. So, these aren't lose and go home scenarios, but it's the same as that first week in the playoffs, because you got to come out on top in those games, and that's how we're going to approach it this week. Play our game, stick to our system, continue the work ethic for 60 minutes, and just keep plugging away.
I know we also talked a little bit about the opportunity with rostering that you are allowed to bring affiliate players in if you should so choose. Will we see any affiliate players this weekend?
I don't foresee that happening, but anything is possible.
There you go.
How's that?
That's a good answer.
Okay, that's good. Anything can happen.
Here's one last question. The following weekend, you go to Lone Star. Lone Star is more likely than not our first round playoff opponent. When you talk about the playoffs starting this week, Next week, they kind of really kind of do. So is there any danger of looking past this weekend as sort of a, I don't know, not much to be gained weekend and looking ahead to, next week we got Lone Star and kind of focusing on that? I know that can happen without proper guidance.
Yep, it's easy to do that, and that's where the group, us, the coaches, everyone. We got home games this weekend. This is our last regular season home game of the 2015-16 season. So, it'd be nice to go out on top and playing at the top of our game, and that's what we're going to try to do. So, we're not looking. We haven't talked about Lone Star at all. We haven't talked about playoffs at all. Our focus is on this weekend and how we play.
I said one last, but now I got one last.
You can have a bunch of those, I feel.
Yeah, well,
when we get talking hockey, I feel this is good. What time? Well, we got time. What do you want to talk about, Archie? Don't forget, we got fan questions too.
I know. Well, do we?
I think we got some good ones this week, right?
Any fans got questions?
No.
Well, think about it.
All right, you got a couple minutes.
We'll get to that in a couple minutes.
We want to know what Joe said.
Yeah.
Well, we'll wait. Let's wait until let's open fan questions a little later.
One of the things that can sometimes happen to teams this time of year, and it happens every year to someone in the league, to where guys get to the end of the season and their brains start thinking, I'm going to be back home with the girlfriend here in another couple weeks or whatever if we don't make it through this round, and start making plans, loading up the car, that kind of thing. While other teams really, we preach it, we say, don't make any plans until mid-May. Because we're planning on going all the way to the Robertson Cup, and that's mid-May. But the nature of human nature, right? Sometimes guys get off track a little bit. And now you've been through this so many times now, not only as a player, but now as a coach at this level. And you've seen it. You see it even in a locker room. Maybe a couple guys do it, a couple guys don't. And every year you think, I need to learn from this so I can be a better leader next year to help try to make sure that these kind of things don't happen. What have you learned, and have you been able to, or is it not even time to think about that yet?
No, that's a good question, because it's very easy to get distracted at any point in the year. There's so much pulling at you. The college, what am I doing next year? They got Facebook, Twitter, all that stuff, Snapchat. They see what their friends are doing this time of year, and as a hockey player, and what these young men have chosen to do is sacrifice. And their sacrifice is because they're trying to reach a dream and a goal that they've had since they were little kids. And it's really something. I could sit here, I could talk to them and tell them till my face is blue, don't do this, don't do that. But really, it's just it's an internal decision that the group has to make, and that's something we talked about over the weekend. What do you guys want to do as a group? Because we can lay out all the X's and O's we want and feel great about ourselves, but we're not playing the game. We're not the team that puts on the blue jerseys. The 23 guys and 20 guys on any given night, they're the guys that are going to do it together, or they're not. And it takes one guy in the group to decide, I'd rather go home and be with my friends and my family and start doing that stuff. It takes one guy to ruin the dreams and goals of the team. So, we talked about it, and I think that we got a special group here, and it's really, as much as we can do, we'll do for them. But at the end of the day, it's going to be on them and what they want to do as a group. And these guys won't be together anymore ever after this as a group. So, hopefully they put it together and do special things this year.
One last thing. We're going to role play real quick. It's the last thing, I promise. This is the last one.
Switch?
No, we're not going to switch.
All right, I'm Art Checker. I'm going to ask you the questions here. How are you?
Oh, I'm Josh Kamrass. Anybody got any questions out of the crowd?
I don't want to do that.
I'm going to go home and play with my dog. I just want to get out.
I got 3 of them. They're ready. They're ready to go. They're ready for me.
No, the last question, role play, is I'm a college scout. I call you on the phone. Hey, Josh Kamrass, how's it going? Hey, look, I've been taking a look at this one kid on your roster. His name's John O'Connor. Tell me about him.
You don't see him make too many mistakes, and he's a smart defenseman. He makes good plays at both blue lines. He makes a good first pass, and if you're looking for a guy who can play in your power play, play in your penalty kill, and really he's got the poise do anything in any given situation, I think you're looking at the right guy. He's been steady for us from day one. You probably don't notice him too much up in the stands, but that's a good thing for defensemen, because you don't want to stand out, because usually when you do, it's either really, really nice or really, really bad. So having D like John, it's good to have on the blue line. They can play any role at any time. So he's a special defenseman. We're lucky to have him.
I told you there's one last thing, and that's how I meant it.
All right, Archie.
RoadRunner head coach Josh Kamrass visiting with us here on the RoadRunners coaching show. And I know your hands are all sore from all that clapping you did for Josh, but give it up one more time for defenseman John O'Connor. John, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm outstanding, actually. What do you want to talk about, John? Anything? You got anything on your mind?
No, you can pick anything really.
Okay, anything. Well, first off, we're going to cover some of the basics. I want to talk a little bit about where you grew up, how you got introduced to the game of hockey. Is it a family thing? Did you have brothers that play? All of that. So tell us your history from a little guy.
Probably introduced by my dad. He played college, so everyone plays. Me and my two brothers started in Michigan growing up, then we moved to Minnesota, and it's kind of a big deal there, so it's a really big deal in Minnesota, so everyone plays.
Hashtag understatement, right?
Yeah.
Kind of a big deal there. So you claim Moorhead as your home, but you were actually born in Michigan?
Yep.
At what age did you?
We moved up there when I was like 6 or 8, around there, so.
So you'd already played a little bit up there. So, and then when you went to high school, where would you play high school at?
Moorhead, Minnesota.
And what was that experience like?
It's honestly probably the most fun I've had playing hockey. I mean, playing with the kids you grew up with, from the whole school and state tournament, 19,000 people. It's pretty cool. Take a lot of crap from the guys, still talk about. It's pretty special.
So how did you find out about Topeka, and at what point did you realize that moving on to play junior hockey might be in the cards for you?
Probably my senior year, started talking to teams, and then went up to the Sioux Eagles last year in the North American League. And that was an experience in itself, just leave it at that. And I finally got my release from them midsummer, and Topeka called me and decided to come to camp and made the team from there.
Now, how far was the Sioux from where you'd been in Michigan as a kid? Was it far?
Yeah, it was 5 hours.
Not even close.
Yeah.
So I was just wondering if it was exciting to you at all to be able to go back at the prospect of returning to Michigan to play there, or was it just
I actually left my senior year in high school, play AAA in Bell Tire in Detroit. So I mean, that was the second year in Michigan, I guess. It was pretty cool.
So then you made the jump to Topeka, and you had obviously, once you'd been in the NAL, then you're become aware of the reputations of other teams around the league, and all of a sudden Topeka becomes an option for you. So what goes through your head? Do you think, boy, I'm happy to be going to Topeka, or I don't know what to expect when I get there?
I was pretty excited, actually. I've only heard good things about it from past coaches and kids I knew that played here before. It's a class A organization, and they're right, you get treated right. It's nice.
Have you always been a defenseman?
Yep.
Have you always been tall or taller than some of the kids you play with?
Yeah, tall and lengthy, yeah.
You think that's why they put you back on D, or was it a preference? Or did you just get stuck there a lot as a kid and just got used to it?
Yeah, I just got used to it, I guess.
So as you continue to grow your game, what are some of the things that you're trying to work on when you come to the rink to help you advance to the next level?
Probably footwork. I got quick feet, stuff like that, and just getting up in the play more and having tight gaps on the D zone, taking my time and space for other team's forwards.
What have you gained the most from your time in Topeka thus far?
Probably good gaps. Josh preaches that a lot, and hearing it every day, so kind of just do it, so you don't have to hear it anymore.
Now, when you say good gaps, there's some people out there that go, what's that mean? Explain that in layman's terms for folks.
It's like when the other forwards have the puck, instead of giving them a lot of time and space, you're up nice and close to them, so they don't have time and space with the puck. Like stick length away instead of a blue line to red line gap. Just play nice and tight on them.
Do you consider yourself a more defensive defenseman, or a kind of guy that really likes to take off and bolt with the puck if you can?
Probably more passive. I would say more laid back. I like to shoot the puck. I mean, that's probably the best part of hockey, shooting the puck from the point.
It definitely is. I know, that's what I always thought. Tell me this, down the road, if you're like everyone else in your locker room, pretty much everyone dreams of playing collegiate hockey at a Division I level. Once you get to a Division I school, well, guess what? You got to take classes. What do you want to study?
Education. I want to be a teacher and maybe a principal after that.
Really? So, and where was the influence for that? Is that something that someone in your family had done, or?
Oh yeah, my mom's a professor at the University of Minnesota, and she loves it. I mean, she gets the summers off and everything. Has nothing bad to say about it. So I think it'd be pretty nice and like working with kids.
For the Golden Gophers?
Yeah.
How about that? So is that your go-to college team?
Yeah, Denver, Michigan, University of Michigan.
So who's your favorite pro team?
Minnesota Wild.
It is the Wild. How many games you been to at Excel to see them?
Just one.
Just one?
Yeah.
Play there someday yourself, maybe in an NHL jersey? That'd be all right, huh?
Yeah, that'd be all right.
All right, well, we'll cut. Unless anybody has any questions. Anybody have any questions for John? Look at them, they're like, nope. They're all scared because they know this thing's being filmed and they're like,
Do you know what Joe said to get kicked out of the game?
No, I don't. I was actually on the ice, so I don't really know what he said.
Good answer. Okay, we could ask Josh that question too. Anybody else got any questions for Jock over here? Anybody else called you Jock before here?
No, not a huge fan.
There was no need of it, right? Okay.
Okay, I know there was some disputes about the reffing this weekend, but in most games, are you guys aware enough of who your referees are to change up the way you play?
Not really to change up the way you play. I mean, in the all, it's either the ref's good or terrible, I think. You never know, but not to change how you play, really.
I have a book if you ever want to know. I just read it. I don't have very many good ones in there.
Anybody have any questions for Josh?
Who do you like getting paired up with on D?
That's not Josh, but that's okay.
Oh, it's tough.
Probably Ryan O'Connor. Best, yeah.
Well, there you go. Hey, I was told there would be a lot of questions. We left you some room for some questions, but I guess we don't have any. Okay, so who's going to win the car this weekend? Hashtag ineligible. Anybody else?
We're all ineligible, probably. So.
Yeah, pretty much a lot of us here are ineligible, I guess. Well, somebody's going to win that darn thing. The Amarillo Bulls are coming to town, and you know what? Like I said, I mean, we've beaten them 19 out of the last 21 times, like 19-1-1 against them. So it's not so much a rivalry anymore. It's just sort of a requisite beatdown. But it's all right. You got to respect them still because, as Josh said earlier, you don't pay attention, they can turn around and bite you. We found that out from, Josh just said edit that part out. At any rate, we look forward to seeing all you guys out there at the Expo Center as the RoadRunners wrap up their regular season this weekend, Friday and Saturday night. Bring friends. That's the key.